Hey, USANA family, it's Jordan. I'm gonna give you guys just a second here to tune in. Topic's gonna be first week of business. I'm gonna turn my computer on just so I can see your comments. Awesome, we're live. All right, well, hey, here's what I want you to do. Some of you probably just started your business. Let me fix this. Some of you more likely have been in USANA for a long time. There we go. Regardless of when you started your business or if you just started your business, my hope is what this video can do is it can serve as a resource for you to educate and teach your new team members. You can certainly tag your team members in this video in the future. But my goal over this next 20 minutes or so is to just kind of help you with what it would look like to have a conversation with a new person. I call it the game planning session. And one of the things I've done over my 10-year career is exactly that. So I see you guys are jumping on. Tell me where you're tuning in from. Just go ahead and say what city you're calling in from or you're coming in live. That'd be great. If you're watching the replay, hashtag replay so that we know that. But I'm excited to dive into this. Here's something that would be super helpful. All of you got your Getting Started workbook when you started in USANA. If you just started, you probably have a hard copy of this. If you've been in USANA for a long time, you can go to your hub under training. It says BDS downloads, and in BDS downloads, you can access this. We're not going to go through this entire thing, but I want to go through some of this because I think it's really important in the beginning process. So I see you guys are jumping on. Rockford, I see New Jersey, Kansas City. Awesome. Excited to be live with you guys here for the next few minutes. See more people are tuning in from. Whatever you tune in, tell me what city you're coming in from. I'll give you guys just a second here and then we're going to get started on this. If you have your Getting Started workbook, that would be awesome. Grab a copy of that as we go through this. If you need to pause the video and go download it later on, you can do that as well. Again, if you log into the hub, under the training tab, BDS downloads, choose English as your language, and then you can access this. All right, Spanish for some of you, you can do that as well. So, second page of this workbook, I love what it says. 4 really simple steps. Every day you should be logging into your hub. 2, you should be going through this Getting Started workbook. 3, you want to set an appointment with your sponsor. Whether that's an actual presentation that you're giving to a prospect or you're just doing a game planning session, I think that's super important. And then number 4 is make sure that you get connected with USANA. We've got this page as a resource to you. USANA has a community page. They've got a blog. Follow their Twitter, follow their Facebook accounts. But I think it's really important just to be up to speed as to what promotions USANA is doing. I think this is a super important page right here. It's your first week of business, and that's exactly what my topic is with you guys today. It is your first week of business. I know some of this admin stuff kind of seems boring, but I think it's really important that you get your business set up correctly so that you can have success years down the road. So let's look at this. If you haven't already, you want to make sure that you add the customer service number to your phone. 801-954-7200. You need to have that memorized, and it's important that your team has that memorized. Everybody should go to that number first before they come to you. Meaning, if you're trying to serve a huge team and they're coming to you with questions that should be answered by distributor services, you're not running an efficient business. Make sure you know your enrollment date. And then if you want to, Platinum Pacesetter can be a goal. And I want to comment on Platinum here for a moment. Platinum is a bonus that's not designed for everyone. In fact, less than 10% of USANA associates actually reach Platinum Pacesetter. It is truly a bonus designed for those people that want to go above and beyond. So if you enroll 4 or more associates for a total of 1,600 points in your first 8 weeks, you can become a Platinum Pacesetter. And basically what that means is anybody that you sponsor in the future that becomes either a Pacesetter or a Platinum Pacesetter, you will receive a matching bonus on their commissions in perpetuity. I think it's a great bonus. I don't think it's a deal breaker if you don't reach it, but if you certainly want to hit high marks in USANA, I think Platinum Pacesetter is certainly something to reach for. One of the reasons I love Platinum Pacesetter is because I think emotionally what it does to a new person is it shows them that they can be successful. And 80% of new people enrolled in USANA are enrolled by new people. So why not start this cycle of helping people see success really quickly? In their first 8 weeks, let's see success. So I think Platinum Pacesetter is definitely worth mentioning, but I don't want a person to feel discouraged if they don't reach Platinum Pacesetter. Also important to note is you can always go back and you can re-qualify for Platinum Pacesetter. You'll have to do it on an annual basis, but just know that if you miss it in the first 8 weeks, you can go back and do that. Some logistics on the page. You need to know where the auto order page is, the shop. I think Ask the Scientist is an important tool. Ask Andy, Communication Edge, and Business Accelerator Suite. Those are just some basics on the back office you want to become familiar with. USANA email account, I think, is optional. If you have a Gmail account, I think that's really good. I think the world's using Gmail, so consider that. You definitely need to get your personal web page up and going. I think your personal web page is really important, especially for social. If you're on Instagram and Facebook, as you should be, you'll be leading people towards a shop experience. I think USANA's web pages have really improved. So definitely make sure you get a personal web page up and going. Business cards, again, I think are optional. If you're out and about, you're at trade shows, you're around people face to face, a business card can be valuable. But I take the stance that I would prefer to just get a phone number from somebody because I want to follow up with them. I'm not counting on them to follow up with me. Direct deposit, commit to weekly or the conference calls that USANA has. I think obviously this is a resource page to you. USANA community page is a resource. Your team probably has resources. Make sure that you have some weekly rhythm of plugging into that personal development. Meet with your sponsor, start creating your contact list, and work towards Platinum Pacesetter. That's that list that I think is really important. Stay up to date with social media. You know, USANA is constantly doing things like, you know, buy one Nutri-Meal, get one free, or half off your second reset, or, you know, with the new mask, they'll do a promotion. Those promotions are probably easiest to access either through your email, if you're subscribed to their email newsletter, or on social. So make sure that you're staying plugged into what those promotions are and you're taking advantage of those. Set up your auto order. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later on, but absolutely important that if you're trying to maintain one business center, you've got a 100-point auto order. If you're trying to maintain more than one business center, you need to have a 200-point auto order. I think a point of confusion for people in the beginning is, what if I bought 3 business centers? Do I have to have a 200-point auto order? The answer is no. You can start with 3 business centers and have a 100-point auto order. That would mean that only your top business center is eligible for commissions. And then if you increase to a 200-point auto order, now all of your business centers are eligible for commissions. I tried to, as quickly as possible, get up to that 200-point auto order. I started my business when I was 22. I had less than $1,000 in my checking account when I started. Money kind of went away quickly. I was trying to have these odd jobs to kind of try to keep my business afloat, but make no mistake about it. What I did was I used 100 points for myself, and then I sold 100 points worth of products every month so that I could maintain that 200-point auto order. And I think we often forget that. You can retail these products. So if you can find some people locally that want to buy products from you, that's a great way to offset costs and expose more people to your product. The initial order rewards can be a little bit confusing, but they do mention it here. Basically, that means that for any customer or associate that you enroll, 10% of that initial order would go back to the person that ordered it. So let's just use simple math. If you spend $100 on your first order, that means that you'll get $5 off your second order and $5 off your third order. That's 10% of your initial order. So I think understanding that, knowing that, putting it into simple terms for a prospect is really important as well. I'm going to skip the first month because we want to stay focused on the first week. You can see that there's a daily, weekly action steps here. This is just an example guide, but I think that you could study this. I think they're day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. This is really good if you're looking for something to follow. I think, motivation is really important, but I think it's also important to note that you need to have a plan, an action system. And I think sometimes we don't know how to spend our days. So these are what I would call IPAs, income producing activities. You need to have your admin responsibilities, but you got to make sure you're doing your income producing activities as well. I'm seeing a comment, do new associates have 6 weeks to get 3 business centers? That's correct, Steve, yes. They have 8 weeks to reach platinum. They have 6 weeks to accumulate enough points to earn 3 business centers, and that's 400 points over 6 weeks. So if they had 200 points on their initial order, 200 points on their second, that would put you at your 3 business centers. Great question. Let's get into the True Health section of the guide. All I want to say about True Health is, listen, what makes USANA different from all the other products, or from all the other companies, is our products. I'm just telling you, I've been in the industry for 11 years now. Most people focus on their comp plan. They focus on some element of what their company has to offer. What I think makes USANA so unique is our products. It's the quality and manufacturing of our products. So some of my best customers that I've gotten has been because they have seen me using my products, whether it's they came to my house or we were having dinner together and I opened up a My Health Pack. You need to be a product of the product. The more products of USANA that you're using, the more you will feel its benefits, the more congruent your soul will feel when you're offering USANA to other people. So make sure that you are a product of the product. Use the products, know the products, understand the products. Next is your why. This can be a little challenging in the beginning. I think that my why has evolved so much, but make no mistake about it, what you need to understand here is success is never a matter of ability. It is always a matter of motivation. You need to understand what your motivation for success is with USANA. So you need to identify what is your why. Is it quitting your job? Is it a better life for your kids? Is it paying off debt? I'm not sure what that why is, but this is an exercise that you can go through to really identify what your why is and try to get a strong why to motivate you to get through what it takes to be successful in the business. Which then takes me to the next page, which is your goals, commitments, and results. Goals, commitments, and results. Here's what I want to say. You need to put your why down on paper. You need to write it out. And if your why evolves over time, that's okay. You need to also set some intentions. Now, when I say intentions, you got to give yourself some grace here. There's going to be days where you stick to it and maybe days that you don't, but you need to have an intention. You can't control the outcome of a prospect. You can't, but you can control your activity. You can control how many hours you put in. You can control how many posts you put on social media. You can control how many presentations you do. Those are things that you can control. You can't necessarily control the outcome. So you need to have how many hours you're putting into your business. Most of you do USANA part-time. What hours are you putting into your business? Approaching contacts per week, sponsoring associates per month, obtaining new customers. These are just intentions that you want to set, and I think it's helpful to start thinking about that in your first week of business. Understand in your first week that the emotional roller coaster will start. You're going to be so super excited. You've probably ordered your products. Maybe you haven't even gotten your products in yet. But you start telling people, you start texting, you start calling, you start messaging people that you love, you start telling them about your excitement, and they do not share your enthusiasm for USANA yet. And so it can feel very deflating, because typically what I've seen in my experience is that when a person starts in USANA, they think of those top 4 people that they want hearing about USANA. And they reach out to those 4 people, my sister, my aunt, my cousin, and my best friend from work. And those 4 people, for whatever reason, know the real you. They've seen you get excited about stuff in the past, and they are not excited about USANA like you are. Don't let that stop you from what can be possible with USANA. You just got started. Successful businesses take time. So understanding the emotional roller coaster, there's going to be ups and there's going to be downs. Your ability to remain even keel will help you be successful in your business. So just understand that from the get-go, that there's going to be a lot of yeses and there's going to be a lot of nos. But rejection will make you stronger, I promise you that. 7 skills to master. I just want to make a comment. I've got so many books back here. GoPro, Eric Worre's book, GoPro. In fact, I'll grab a copy. If you haven't read this book, I think this is the most important book to have. GoPro by Eric Worre, 7 Steps to Becoming a Network Marketer, a Professional Network Marketer. You need to get this book. I don't have time in this live to teach you everything. I think this is the best book. I also think the second best book is Sarah Robbins' book, Rock Your Network Marketing Business, which I have a copy of that back here as well. Rock Your Network Marketing Business and Business of the 21st Century. Those are some resources you want to consider. But you need to build your contact list. Step 2 is to invite. Here's what I would say. I don't think that this is super important to understand in the first week, but it talks about the personality quadrants. And I think it's important to know the personality quadrants. Promoter, helper, analyzer, driver. The reason I think that those personality quadrants are important to understand is because this business is about honoring people. You honor people by being quick to listen, slow to speak, by speaking in terms of other people's interests and helping people feel special and important. One of the ways in which you can do that is to identify what their needs are. And since everybody is different, everybody has different personalities, if you can identify what their personality quadrant is, you can ask better questions and you can fit better needs. So for example, a promoter is someone motivated by fun. They're interested in why USANA would be fun. The travel, the trips, the cruises, the controlling their own schedule. The helper is motivated by helping others. They'd be more motivated by what is this product going to do for the people that I love? How can I benefit other people through this experience? Analyzers, motivated by facts and figures. They're the detail-oriented people. They're going to want to know where the products come from. Where are the raw ingredients? What are all the third-party certifications that USANA has? Those details matter to an analyzer. And then a driver, motivated by competition. They're goal-driven. They're going to want to see how much money can I make? How can I hit different ranks in the company? Each quadrant is unique, and it's not that one's better than another. You just want to be able to craft your text, your conversations to the personality quadrant that you're speaking to, and understand that that takes time. It takes practice. That doesn't come quickly. Over time, though, you'll become more effective as you start to learn what these quadrants are. Form is a great way of reaching out to people if your conversations are face-to-face or over the phone. Let's talk about these other skills: presenting, following up, and closing. Listen, 2007 is when I started in USANA. Now we're here in 2018, and the way in which you build today is dramatically different than 2007. Back in 2007, Facebook was just getting started. Instagram was just, starting to evolve, in 2008, 2009, 2010. Most people are texting and on social, and they don't want to show up to events. They don't want to show up to a hotel meeting. Those days are gone. So you've got to make sure that you as an associate are remaining relevant. So you've got to think through, what does that look like? And I think a lot of conversations are now happening through Facebook Messenger, through Instagram Messenger, but people are looking for short, consolidated videos and easy ways in which to communicate with one another. So you've got to evolve with them. A presentation may be a Zoom. If you don't have a Zoom platform, I think it's $15 a month. You could hop on, share a couple of screens, the person can see your face, you can see theirs. You've got to make sure that you're evolving in how you're educating people with the information of what makes USANA different. Following up and closing are super important, and I think that's an area of struggle for most. Closing is really about asking the right questions, moving people in a direction. Which one of these options seems best to you? What did you like about the video? These are questions that I like to ask to move people in a direction. 6 and 7, they've got overcoming objections. Eric Worre would say step 6 is duplication, but overcoming objections I think is really important to handle in the beginning. The main objections that you're going to get are no time, no money, I'm not a salesperson, is this a pyramid scheme? Don't be defensive. Try to relate to the prospect as you respond to these types of objections. Number 7 is to promote events, and I think this is super important, and I want you to hear me loud and clear on this. If you're new to USANA, the first thing that you need to do is you need to commit to USANA's International Convention. August 15th through the 18th in Salt Lake City, you need to be there. If there's a local event near you, I would highly advise that you go there. You don't really understand what USANA is about until you've been able to go to one of those events. So make sure that you commit to that. I don't think you've even started in your business until you've attended an event. You need to be around the community of people. You need to shake Kevin Guest's hand. You need to meet Lori Truman. You need to meet other people. You need to be in an environment of growth. And I think being at convention will help open your eyes to the possibilities of what can happen with USANA. So make sure you go to an event, and then as you learn to promote events, I call that a 7-figure skill. The person with the most people at convention wins, meaning they're helping the most amount of people be successful. And the more people that are successful, the higher your income will be in USANA. Let's talk just quickly about time management. All I want to say about time management is that 80% of your time should be spent doing income producing activities. 20% of your time should be spent admin, organizing, making sure that you're efficient with the time that you're spending, creating your plan, creating your strategy. So make sure that you follow these guidelines. And I think a power hour is a great way to spend income producing time. Sit down with a list that's already been created, a names list of people that you're going to either text or message or communicate with, but make sure that you do those power hours, I'd say at least once per day, or depending upon how much time you put into USANA, I think somewhere between 5 to 10 hours a week, you've got to make sure you're doing those IPAs. Let's talk personal development here for a minute. You know, this was super important for me in the beginning, and it's super important for me now. There's 4 pillars to your belief when it comes to USANA. It's products, company, industry of network marketing, and belief in yourself. I think I struggled in belief in the industry and even belief in myself in the beginning. So whether you're listening to podcasts, attending events, reading books, you've got to make sure that you're spending time working on yourself. And as you're doing this, your belief will rise. If you're trying to force a new distributor to go out and talk to people about USANA and they don't feel comfortable doing that, my guess is it's probably because they lack skills, number one, or number two, they simply lack belief. So rather than trying to force a person to do something that they don't want to do, what I would prefer is to raise their belief so that they're excited to talk about something. So make sure that you work on your belief and help your teammates do the same. Contact list, volume growth chart. These are some things that I think are important down the road. But what I want to do with the time that I have left, with those of you that are on live, I'd like to see what questions you have. You can type your questions there, and I'll take a couple of questions here before we wrap up. But really important that you guys go and get this Getting Started worksheet that USANA has. If you get it in your initial manual, great. If you don't, like I said, you guys can download it. But are there any questions that you have for me before we wrap up here? Questions that you guys can type in the chat box? I'm just looking here to see if there are any questions. While I'm waiting for some questions to populate, let me give you just kind of some motivation. I've been working really hard on USANA for 11 years, and I wrote a book this past, actually 2 years, and the comment that I want to make is, what I love about USANA is I feel like USANA has given me the health that I want, but it's also allowed me to pursue different things. The fact that I've been able to work so hard on a book for the last 2 years is testament to the power of what USANA has been for me. So I encourage you guys to fixate on being successful in USANA, but if it's writing a book or something else in addition to USANA, I'm really about multiple streams of income, and I love that USANA empowers us the ability to do that. All right, so let me see. I got some questions coming in here. Let's see. What do you use for a presentation with Zoom? You know, I use different slides. USANA's got some downloads. I've got some that I've made over the years. Usually it's one of the standard PowerPoint presentations that USANA's had. I manipulate some of the slides, but I don't have a standard one that I use. It really depends on the prospect that I'm talking to, but I do use the one that USANA made available to us. What USANA videos do you recommend to send to prospects? Great question, Steve. If you go to thisisusana.com, we actually made a website for USANA, and all of you can use it. but it is the site that I send prospects to, and all of the videos are actually already there. So I'll send a person to thisisusana.com. I'll ask them what they liked about the videos. We usually set up a follow-up time, and that's the videos that I use. How do you manage the feeling of losing your friends because of talking about USANA? You know, I think if you ask the right questions, you won't lose friends. I think when you think about starting a traditional restaurant, or, you know, I wrote this book, you know, I've been telling my friends about it. My friends want to support me. Now, to think that my friends want to become a distributor of the company or something, that might be far-fetched. But I do think that initially friends and family do want to support you. So maybe don't take the approach of signing them up as a distributor, but take the approach of allowing your family to support you by trying the products, or take the practice approach of asking your friends and family to let you practice your business on them. So I think practicing your presentation, learning, becoming comfortable with the content, I think your family would support you. I think your friends would support you in that effort. But if you started a restaurant and you told people you were having a grand opening on June 15th, do you think your friends and family would show up? I think they would, because they want you to be successful. So learn to ask the right questions, and I think you'll feel less like you're missing out on friends. Great questions. What other questions do you guys have? I'm reading your questions to see if you guys have anything. Anything else? I want to help you guys. Well, if I don't see any more questions, then let me just say this as I kind of conclude the video. USANA is really about, I think it's about your heart. I think it's about a desire to see people be successful. I think if from the beginning your primary goal is just to make money and rank advance, I think that prospects are going to snuff that out. Here's what I believe. I believe that we're all chasing three different things. I think either, number one, you're just in survival mode, where you're just literally trying to survive. Once you've got your survival kind of in place, now you're trying to chase success. Success is above and beyond survival. It's getting maybe some of the things that you want, or maybe the feelings that you're going for. And then I think level 3 would be chasing significance. I think significance is beyond success. And if I can implore you to chase significance from the very beginning, significance is about helping other people be successful. It's helping them reach their health goals. It's helping them reach their business goals. Significance is a much higher level. It's not just about your success, it's about helping other people be successful. I promise that if from the beginning your intention is to see other people be healthy, if it's to help other people be financially successful, it's to help them pay off debt, I promise you will be massively successful. Your success will be a byproduct of helping other people be successful. So if you keep that focus from the beginning, I promise USANA is the right vehicle for you to be massively successful. So I wanted to keep this to a half hour. We did it. I'm so proud of you for being a part of the USANA family. I'm excited that you guys joined me for this video. I hope that you got some value from it. Make sure you go and you download the Getting Started workbook. Go through this on your own if you're new to USANA. I think it's got some really valuable information. And as always, continue to tune into this page. We'll continue to bring you guys value every week. So you are loved. I hope you guys have a great day. Go out there and make a difference. See you guys.